Hi and welcome to the Bristol Music Show.
Yeah, we're here each week on May TV and every Monday on BCFM Radio, bringing you the best in Bristol music.
As usual, we've got tons and tons of stuff coming up for you today, so here's the lineup. We're looking back once more at our lounge room gigs, this time hearing from the man behind the plan, financial advisor and music blogger George Lads.
Our music video of the week comes from This Human Condition for their dance track Psychotropic.
And we want to know about the weirdest place you've seen a gig.
Plus, we catch a live performance from London-based Peluche, courtesy of Audiophiles.
First though, more live music, this time from our second fundraising lounge room gig. This is Little Dusty.
It's funny how we go through the motions, even when we're out of town. When we're on the phone or walking around the co-op, we've got our own way of hanging around. I think it starts in the early mornings. I think it starts with our kiss, 'cause when it started it was without a warning, and I never expected that. This swimmer, promise me now, and I'll follow you under, 'cause I'm out here splashing around, waiting for you to come over. We packed our life up in cardboard boxes. Women be the same as yours. If I folded up our clothes and stowed our belongings, mothballed all we had abroad, will we still wake up in the early mornings? Will we still start it with our kiss? I'm saying yes, though you can never say for certain. So I guess all we have is this. My swimmer, promise me now, and I'll ever follow you under, 'cause I'm out here splashing around, waiting for you to come over. Swimmer, promise me now, and I'll ever follow you under, 'cause I'm out here splashing around, waiting for you to come over.
So that was Little Dusty performing live in the living room of George Lads back in November.
Now, it was George's idea to hold living room gigs to raise money for the Bristol Music Show. We're ever so thankful for him, and it was so much fun. So let's hear from the man himself.
I wondered if you could just tell us why we're here and who you are, I guess, as well.
Okay, so I saw the crowdfunding campaign, and I just thought, it'd be a great idea to do a couple of lounge room gigs, and I suggested it to you. You said yeah, and then some bands agreed.
Tell us about your involvement in the kind of local music scene.
I run a website called Shining Lights, shininglights.co.uk, and we started this year just interviewing mainly Bristol musicians about the interaction between music and money. It's kind of a subject we don't talk about in this country because it's just not something. It's either dull or it's private, isn't it? So we don't talk about it. So what we're trying to do is just give someone or people a place to go where they can get free information, and there's nothing there. You know, we're not trying to get anything out of them.
So what kind of things do you ask musicians then?
I kind of started quite easy. So I started by asking them a little bit about their history, how they've started. When I spoke to you on the radio, I talked about Sound of the Sirens because that was a recent one. And it's interesting because you find that a lot of the time that people have been doing it for a long time. So they've been doing it for 7 years, and only now have they started to make money. And then you kind of move on to the more sort of questions about how they finance it, how they finance albums or EPs, and it kind of builds from there.
Well, right now we're in your kitchen. We're just about to start the second lounge gig. Have you ever, before this, had you ever been to a living room gig? Because it's becoming quite a thing now.
When we went to see High Climbers, they had a really small, intimate gig. And that kind of was a sort of lounge room, but not really a lounge room. But it had sofas, so I count it as that. And that made me think, it was lovely, because I think there was, 20, 25 people there. And it just felt much more intimate.
And tell us how the night goes. Maybe you can describe the last one for us.
Yeah, so the last one was a little bit chaotic, I think, but it was nice. Basically, people tend to turn up about 7:30. We make sure that there's plenty of alcohol here and
pasta.
And pasta, yeah, can't forget the pasta. We bought sweets this time, so we're just trying to make it as friendly as possible and get people in, get people talking, get them talking to the band. We did a raffle, which was brilliant, and there were lots of fantastic prizes. And it's just a lovely evening. I think it's a friendly, great evening, and it's great, to try and get people to give a bit of money and raise it for a good cause. Going back a few generations, you probably wouldn't have that sort of older people, I say older, my age, who are into younger bands, and whereas now I think that the people listen to it whatever their age is, and I think that's great. So actually I think we've got quite a mix of ages, and yeah, hopefully we're introducing new music to people, which is fantastic.
Thank you so much. You've never hosted a gig before, have you, apart from these ones?
No, and I'm not sure if I'll do it again, but...
Thank you, George. We really appreciate it. You're just doing this off your own back. You've supplied people with alcohol, and you've sold all the tickets, and it's amazing. So thank you so much.
Don't lay on the corner pews of what chapels of stone. Don't lay on the corner pews of what chapels of stone.
Huge thanks to George and his family for welcoming us into their living room, twice in fact. Why not check out his finance and music blog to read interviews with some of our favourite Bristol acts.
Yep, and we'll be back with George and his living room later on in the show. We've also got some live music from London-based Peluche, courtesy of Audiophiles. But for now, as we head into the break, here's the music video of the week.
This Human Condition are currently running a pledge music campaign to release their upcoming album Project Zero, and they're already well over target. So here's their most recent release from that album. It's Psychotropic.
She has glassy eyes. She cries. She cries. Who are you talking with? How can we help you, dear? Hold those voices. world is psychotropic. She's living a hypnotic state of mind. Her world is psychotropic.
Welcome back to the Bristol Music Show. We've still got loads more to come.
But first, Audiophiles follows us every Monday night on BCFM radio, bringing you a little taster of some of the acts that are visiting our city. This week, they went out to catch a gig with London-based Peluche.
Okay, welcome to Audiophiles. It's a Monday night and we're on the Thekla. We're just about to see Peluche play, so why don't you check them out with us?
Walking down the street, what do I see? Picture looking at me. Mercury
The strangest place I've been to a gig was probably in London, in this strange chamber by the Brunel Museum. You have to crawl through a tiny little hatch on your hands and knees, and then climb down about 80 feet of scaffolding, and then it was just in this big concrete cylindrical bunker, and half of it had flooded, but we just carried on anyway. It was a band called Champs, and then rain supported as well. It was just magical, really. It was really cool.
I was in Moscow at the time, and these guys invited me to go to this gig, and it was like a mod revival kind of rock mod kind of concert thing, and we ended up going into this cave. I mean, it was just a door in the street, but when you walked in, you kind of went down, and it was in this kind of like cavern cave kind of thing, and everything was built into the rock. So that was really cool, but it was Moscow, so it was going to be cool anyway.
My weirdest gig moment really wasn't a gig, but I worked for a radio station in Leeds and saw Jamiroquai in a record library, which was a bit odd. He was doing a kind of rehearsal for his gig in front of about 10 people, and I was one of those 10. There you go. It was a good gig, actually.
The weirdest place? Well, you have to experience the place to know how weird it is, but it's a place called the Reggae Lounge in the Gap in Barbados. And the lounge creates all sorts of images that it's a nice, sophisticated place. Let me tell you, people, it's not. But Beres Hammond was absolutely fantastic there.
So that's a few of the weird and wonderful places people have seen gigs. What about you?
I don't know. I'd seen a gig in someone's shed before, which was like a fundraiser, which was quite cool, and also someone's bedroom, which was in it was officially the front room arts trail, but it was actually in a bedroom. But that was kind of cool as well.
Is that in Totterdown?
Very intimate, yes.
Okay. I think I saw one once in a laundrette when we were recording our session with Lady Nade.
Yes.
So we had all the kind of washing machines and tumble dryers in the background.
That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. That's about as weird as I've gone though.
I went to the rabbit hole at Glastonbury. That's pretty weird. You have to crawl through a tunnel to get there. Anyway.
There you go. Get in touch with us anyway on Twitter and Facebook and carry on telling us some of the weird places that you might have seen a gig.
And we'll be back next week. We've got George Ed, R&B artist, live in session. And we'll also be previewing Independent Venue Week, which starts across the country and here in the West on the 25th.
Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.
Kiss you, it'll grip you and twist you and make